The Sontarans. Everything you need to know. The Sontarans are a warlike species from the planet Sontar and made their first appearance in Doctor Who in 1974, some 51 years ago. To say that the Sontarans are warlike is perhaps an understatement. They are war-obsessed, even going so far as to believe that there is no greater fate than to die in battle for the glory of the Sontaran Empire. But to an extent, this is understandable. They are a clone species that has been bred specifically for war. Fighting is, in every sense, their raison d'etre, their reason for being. This may go some way to explaining why their battle with the Rutans has lasted for so long, spanning whole centuries. Perhaps, on some level, the Sontarans enjoy the thrill of the fight. In real-world terms, the Sontarans were created by the writer Robert Holmes, who introduced a member of their race, known as Lynx, in the 1974 story The Time Warrior. In the adventure, a lone Sontaran finds himself trapped on planet Earth in the Middle Ages and strikes a deal with a criminal gang who offer him protection while he repairs his ship. In return, he offers the bandits weapons and other high-tech resources, but not before he's kidnapped a scientist from the 20th century to assist with his repairs. But in the context of the Hooniverse, the Sontarans were actually created by a race known as the Kavich. These were the original inhabitants of the planet Sontar, and they made the Sontaran clones in response to an attack on their planet by the tentacled Rutans. Unlike the Sontarans, the Kavich reproduced naturally and were more human-like in appearance than their potato-headed creations. Appearances notwithstanding, the Sontarans are a very technologically advanced race. When the Doctor next encounters them in the Sontaran experiment, another lone traveler called Styre is carrying out scientific experiments on a group of stranded astronauts to better understand their strengths and weaknesses. As such, it is fair to say that the Sontarans are an intelligent and diligent species, if lacking in morals. This callous streak is further demonstrated in their next appearance in 1978, The Invasion of Time, when a whole army of Sontarans tries to take control of the Doctor's home planet, Gallifrey. Led by the villainous Commander Storr, the Sontarans plan to destroy the planet and, indeed, the whole galaxy. But this time, Storr actually intends to wipe out his own race at the same time, using a super-powered grenade, and the Doctor is forced to use the deadly Damat gun to thwart his plans. This is a piece of Time Lord technology that has the power to erase someone from the timeline, and indeed, this is what happens to Storr. But the weapon also destroys itself in the process and wipes the Doctor's mind of recent events. When he next encounters them in 1985's The Two Doctors, the Sontarans' plans are somewhat less ambitious but equally deadly. In the story, they kidnap a scientist called Dastari and end up floating around in Spain as they struggle to extract the so-called symbiotic nuclei from another captive, the Second Doctor. Apparently, Dastari is the only scientist capable of carrying out such a procedure, and if successful, the nuclei will grant the Sontarans the ability to travel safely through time. This is because the symbiotic nuclei, which is possessed by all Time Lords, grants the possessor the necessary molecular stability to pass through the time vortex. On this occasion, the Sontarans are defeated by the rebellious Chesene, Dastari's companion, and by the Doctor. One of the Sontarans tries to use the time module without the symbiotic nuclei and dies. It would be several years before viewers would see the Sontarans in action again, but they made a dramatic return in 2008, The Sontaran Stratagem and the Poison Sky, written by Helen Rayner. This time, they are hell-bent on turning planet Earth into a mass cloning facility, and to do this, they need to change the planet's atmosphere. Their plan for doing this, though, is somewhat complicated. Once again, they are using a human scientist to help them achieve their ends, along with human clones and specially created Atmos devices, which have been attached to vehicles all over the planet. At the right time, the Sontarans plan to activate these and change the Earth's atmosphere, making it suitable for Sontaran habitation and deadly to humans. Ultimately, the Sontarans are defeated by their one-time human ally, the scientist Luke Rattigan, who, with the Doctor's help, ignites the poison gas and burns it away, taking himself and the Sontarans with him. At the time of writing, the Sontaran stratagem and the poison sky are the last proper Sontaran adventures to date, although their presence has been felt in the years that followed. For instance, in 2012, A Good Man Goes to War, we meet a warrior known as Strax, who is recruited by the Doctor to help rescue his companion Amy Pond. After a failed attack on a space station, Strax subsequently dies and is subsequently resurrected, in time to team up with a Victorian maid called Jenny and her Silurian partner, Madame Vastra, and they form a group that becomes known as the Paternoster Gang, based in Victorian London. This unlikely alliance helps to protect planet Earth by investigating alien threats and by providing occasional assistance to the Doctor. This is most notable in the 2013 episode The Crimson Horror, in which they rescue him from a fake confectionery factory known as Sweetville, and again in the 2014 episode Deep Breath, where they help the newly regenerated Time Lord to take on the clockwork robots. So, had we seen the last of the Real Sontarans? Not at all. They returned in the show's 13th season, Doctor Who Flux. The epic 6-part story featured the potato-headed clones crossing paths with the Doctor once more, although what exactly they did was revealed as the story unfolded. Which is your favorite Doctor Who story featuring the Sontarans? Let me know in the comments below.
Presenting the Doctor Who TARDIS unisex messenger bag from Lavazzi. The bag itself is littered with white silhouettes of the TARDIS on a conveniently TARDIS blue background. It's a simplistic yet effective design and not too over the top. In the centre there's a patch which features the current era Doctor Who logo. I really love how the zippers also feature a small circular Who logo etched into it. The central pocket is quite small, which is convenient for smaller models of phone, although personally I would have liked to see this pocket be ever so slightly bigger. The handles are big and bulky, which is perfect for travel, and if you're not a fan of handles, this bag also comes with a strap, transforming the piece into a shoulder bag. And you guessed it, this also features a lovely TARDIS pattern. Opening up the bag, we are greeted by a lovely lighter grey lining. On one side it features various smaller padded pockets, perfect for your precious things. On the other side, a laptop compartment is present, featuring buttons which holds your electronics in place securely. And of course this is a Doctor Who bag after all, and there is a lovely reference to classic series Doctor Who, featuring an embroidered seal of Rassilon, which is a perfect touch. On the sides of the bag there is additional button straps which when undone makes the bag appear to be more rectangular, which is useful for carrying larger laptops and notepads. One of my personal favourite aspects of this bag is the back section, which can be slid over the handles of a suitcase, securing the contents whilst travelling. I found this really useful whilst travelling to and from university. The TARDIS messenger bag is available to purchase now.